Hello! This is an introduction to Chinchiller Dice by Loosey Goosey Games, designed by Andreas Price and illustrated by Matthias Mödel. Chinchiller Dice is a 15 minutes bluffing game of literal blind trust for 2 to 5 players, ages 10 and up. Chinchiller Dice comes with 2 Chinchiller Dice. They are identical and they each have a 1, a 3, a 6 and a 12 cent side, as well as 2 special sides times 2 and the chinchilla. Chinchilla Dice also has 85 victory point tokens, sand tokens, 1, 6 and 24 cent for each grain, pile or bag of sand. Sand is important to chinchillas because they like to bathe in it. It's good for their fur. They like to chillax in it. So having a lot of sand is good from a chinchilla's point of view. In order to set the game up, you each take 24 sand and decide on the starting player. If you are the starting player, please pick up both dice and roll them. You can re-roll as often as you like. However, you can only re-roll a die that shows sand, and if both dice show sand, you must re-roll both if you choose to re-roll at all. So you can't keep a die that shows a high sand value and just re-roll the other die that shows a low sand value. Once you decide to stop rolling, you get your sand. You hand on the dice, next player's turn, and so on and so forth. You must never re-roll a side that shows a special icon. Times 2 doubles the other die, so 6 sand times 2 would be 12 sand. If you roll double times 2, that's just 0 sand. Not a particularly good roll. But again, you can't re-roll these sides, so it can happen. You also can't re-roll a die as soon as it shows a chinchilla. You can re-roll the other one if that shows sand, but the chinchilla stays. If you at any point roll 2 chinchillas, or chinchilla times 2, you lose an eye permanently. You squinch it shut until the end of the game. There's no way for you to get that eye back. As a result, during the course of the game, a little later, you will likely lose your second eye while somebody else can still see. And at that point, the game changes just a little for you. Being a blind player, one of the other players who can still see you is going to hand you the 2 dice. You're going to roll them, but only once. There are no re-rolls any longer as soon as you're blind. Then your closest left-hand neighbor who can still see is going to tell you what you've rolled. Since that player will also be responsible for paying you out of their own sand supply rather than the general supply, they are strongly incentivized to bluff, which they are allowed to do. So anything else in this game that is usually considered cheating is also considered cheating in Chinchiller Dice. But in that particular instance, your left neighbor can bluff and tell you a different value than what you've actually rolled. Independent of whether or not they're telling the truth, as soon as you accept what they told you, you will get that. They will just pay you from their supply and the dice go to your left neighbor, play continues. However, you are allowed to accuse your left neighbor, the closest one that can still see and tells you what you've rolled, of cheating. A couple of possibilities. Mainly, you catch them cheating. And for this, you are allowed to briefly open your eyes and have a quick look to confirm what you've actually rolled. You catch them cheating, then you get the full amount that you've rolled, and they get punished by having to close one eye. If you accuse them of bluffing when they told you the truth, the other possible outcome, that's bad for you. If they told you an amount of sand that was rather generous, so 6 or up, you just don't get that. And if you accuse them of cheating when they told you the truth on an amount of sand that was below 6, you were extra greedy because you rolled a small amount and were satisfied with it. Then, not only do you not get what you've rolled, but you also have to pay 6, it's always 6, to that neighbor Who told you the truth? Play continues like that until nobody can see anymore. As soon as everybody is blind, whoever has the most sand wins. By the way, the Loosey Goosey Games version of Chinchiller Dice includes English as well as German rules. You can visit us at www.looseygooseygames.com. Thank you for watching.